Good morning, good morning. It's a wonderful spring day morning. Is it spring yet? No. Is it spring? I don't think it's spring yet. But it sure is beautiful outside today. Yep, 2 days after that killer rain. It's supposed to rain tonight and tomorrow here too. Supposed to get a nice little downpour. Good morning, nerdy. Oh, Sandy, you guys are getting slammed down there. I was reading where 5 people died from those tornadoes just in Tennessee, another couple of the other states around. Vegas, it is spring. Spring has sprung. Has spring sprung? Good morning. Good morning. Thank goodness, Sandy. Woo, I was thinking about you guys. Oh, the flood's still coming there too. Boy, is there the craziest weather patterns on our planet anymore. Good morning to Billy D. Billy D. Bill, has anybody told you you're handsome lately? Good morning. Sandy, it has. And North Carolina and the Carolinas. The Carolinas are getting slammed. Texas took a beating this year so far. All of those southern areas. Good morning, Billy D. When a blockage gets hit, it's a good thing. It's time to open up internally and release some of the blocks. It's a good thing. When your blockage gets hit, just open up. This place of centered awareness is the seat of the witness, the seat of the self. That is the only seat from which you can let go. Which seat, Pops? The driver's seat, your own personal driver's seat. That's the one where you can let go. Release that. Surrender. Let go. No matter what it is. Let go. Blockages. Get rid of those blocks. Let them go. We're going to talk about one of Pop's blocks later on today. Pop block. Good morning. Good morning. I love it when I see you guys all say good morning to each other. Good morning to one and to all. And to all a good night. Wait, that's a different poem. Good morning. 27 people, 14 likes. Is somebody's double tap broken? Whose double tap isn't working correctly? All you got to do is hit the old double tap. Double tap that screen, Eugene. There they go. Mother Wolf, oh, does your button work? There's 8 buttons not working right now. Or 8 people not getting up and hitting the old button. Good morning. So once in a while, you guys remember here, good morning, wait. Good morning, my dearest friends. Good morning. Once in a while here, oh, let me get something I forgot. There we go. I gotta have my sound machine. We've gotta have our sound machine, right? Which one are we gonna do first? I see you out there. Wait a minute. Okay. Good morning. I see Laura Young. Hey, Laura. Okay. Yeah, Justin, definitely nasty weather up here. But that was a day or so ago. Now, pretty nice. Today should be really nice. Opening day for the Detroit Tigers. Opening day, home game. Opening day, home game. But go Dodgers. Dodgers are my team. Always have been, always will be. I grew up a Dodger fan going to Dodger games left and right. Torpedo bats. What do we think about that, Derek Anderson? I don't mind. In golfing, aren't they always upgrading the clubs and stuff? I don't think it's bad. As long as everybody has access to the same stuff, same design. And then they get to choose it. Mookie Betts said, they asked him about the torpedo bats, and about half of the Dodger starting lineup has ordered their own torpedo bats. And they interviewed Mookie Betts and asked him what he thought about it. And he said, truthfully, I'm not sure that it physically, that the bat really makes a difference. He goes, but I think for sure it gives people more confidence. Oh, that's cool, Mother Wolf. It gives people more confidence. And really, that's about 80% of batting is confidence, right? It's in the mind. So if you feel like you're going to swing better with the torpedo bat, then by all means, he says, go ahead and use one. You guys are asking, what's a torpedo bat? There was a guy, he works for, I forget who, a minor league team down in Florida. He was a graduate of MIT. And he became a coach down in, maybe like an analytics coach or something for one of these minor league teams. And he designed the torpedo bat, which is completely within the regulations of a baseball bat, size, density, and all of that. But somehow or another in his design, he's increased the sweet spot on the barrel of the bat. And as a result, the New York Yankees are the first to use it, and right now they're leading baseball in home runs. I'm not a big baseball fan. It sounds like I'm a baseball nerd. I'm not. But I've just been sort of following that torpedo bat angle. And of course, the Dodgers are 8-0, which is a record. The best starting record after having just won a World Series ever. So they're killing the game. How about this one? You want to be an epic performer? You have to be able to pull stuff off like this. Shohei Ohtani, Japanese superstar playing for the Dodgers now. A couple of nights ago, it was Ohtani bobblehead night. They had people standing in line for 4 hours. 4 hours to get a free bobblehead as part of the promotion for the game. So what's Ohtani do? He waits till the bottom of the ninth, and the score's tied 5-5, and he cranks a game-winning homer on his own bobblehead night. I was like, dude, you're killing the game. This is a pretty good one. Good. Are you guys? I'll forget talking about baseball. You guys are like boring. Once in a while we do women jokes about women, right? And then once in a while we do jokes about men. Women thinking certain things about men. Men saying, we think differently. We're just different creatures, but not really. But jokingly. Am I right? Who will you guys? Don't be offended. I'm going to do a little thing here. It's a crack up. It's about women. You guys ready? Can't live with them, nerdy, and you can't live with them. What? I mean, without them.
I'm telling you, that menopause I didn't see it coming. I really did. There are nights that I lie in bed and dream about the good old days of PMS. There are weeks that go by, I cannot get her home cold enough for her body. I'm telling you, there's not enough Freon in the world. If there's a hole in the ozone, it's over the roof of my home in Tennessee. It's 48 degrees in my bedroom. I got meat hanging off my curtain rods. She walks in and turns on some 64-bladed fan she installed. I had to bolt the birds through the floor to keep them getting sucked up through the roof. She stands in the middle of the room. Why is it so hot in here, Jeffrey? Why is it so hot? I can't see her because of the fog that's coming out. And then she wakes me up to feel her night sweats. Is that even necessary? I'm sound asleep when she zips my parka.
Zips my parka.
Wake up and feel this, Jeffrey. It's disgusting. Look at me. There's like a furnace in me. You're lucky you don't have to go through this. You know, I wouldn't if you'd quit waking me up and telling me about it. I could sleep right through the perspirating. It doesn't make a lot of noise. Oh, and one night I wake up, there's a human being at the foot of my bed. 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if you've ever had this. There's a full-grown human. The 3 in a dark room. I almost had a heart attack. It was her. She's at the foot of my bed, cutting off the bottom of her flannel pajamas because they were sticking to her sweaty legs. And this demonic thing was coming out of her mouth. I grabbed my sons the next day. I said, Mom's going through some serious stuff here. Like what? Remember those nights you didn't do your homework? She'd get mad, yell at you real loud. He goes, I remember that. This is different. She might be crying and then stab you.
Oh, gosh. Okay. That's our morning funny. Okay. Oh, gosh. I laughed harder this morning than when I saw it first time yesterday. I love she zips open my parka. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay, we're not making fun of you, ladies. We love you. I'm not joking. Seriously, I don't want anybody to be offended. That's just funny. Humor has to be almost offensive to be funny. Okay? Don't get... Oh, gosh darn it. Okay, I swear, I glisten. I glow. Right, Laura? Give me 5 people that thought that was funny. That aren't offended and thought it was funny. Just 5. That's all I need. You know, all I need is 5 people. Okay? Oh, classic. We're not making fun of anybody. We're just, come on. We're seriously. It's tough to be a girl. Tough. But the guy's comedy is outstanding, that Jeffrey guy. He is good. Okay, well, thank you for letting me crack myself up this morning. Is Nipper here yet? Have we seen Niffy? Or is she still blocked? Okay. That's good, Vague. Is Niffy still blocked? Okay, I want to know. Good morning, AG. Okay, that was funny. You know what? We don't have a lot of time here this morning. We don't have a lot of time, and I'll tell you why. I still want to read more about that Chris Young and the Soulquest Church. And I was going through the article again this morning, and there's still a lot left to talk about. There's still a lot more of the article. So I think we're going to pick it up right there. What do you guys think? Let's finish that story. We might not even have time for rando factos this morning, but we could certainly laugh. And then when we see Niffy later, Ava's birthday is today, which is their beautiful daughter. She's 7, and Pops has a grandpa crush on her. Loves that little girl, and I'm gonna sing her happy birthday if she comes around. Okay, give me a number between 1 and 50. Give me a number. That's right, Sandy. Give me a number between 1 and 50. You can put up to 3 numbers on a line at one time. It's not 10 today. It is not 10. I'm just going to tell you guys up front, the number that came in is not 10. You bunch of alternators. You need to alternate that number. J.W. Owen. J.W. Owen, you just nailed it. 17. 17. That's a 17, J.W. Owen. Boop. Okay? J.W. Owen, I would love to get an address in an email form from you so I can send you off a pack of supplemental supplements. Okay, let's get that going to you today. Supplemental supplements to J.W. Owen, and we're going to give away another supplemental supplement package here shortly. What am I giving away when I do that? It's generally, it's right about 5 grams usually of a supplemental supplement that we all like. So that's usually what I'm sending and when I'm making that deal with you. Where's the music, Pops? There you go. Okay, let's get back to the story. Okay. Tropic of Neptune, where did I get this? Actually, Sandy gave this to me. You would have to ask Sandman. If I remember correctly, didn't you, Sandy? Didn't this come from you? I was at like somewhere and I said, oh, I want that. We got it from, yep, it was from Sandy. Pops remembers stuff like that. That's the funnest little thing. Niffy, hang in there. After we've read the article and before the reading, Pop Croons is going to be popping in. Okay? So yesterday, Chris Young, Soulquest Church. Okay? We're going to pick it up from there. Just a brief recap. Yesterday, Young was in court being sued by the father of the Begley child. The Begley, what was his name? Matthew? And he was being sued, and a lot of stuff was coming out about him and the operation. And then the guy kept pictures of the dead son up on his Facebook. And then they challenged the judge to come to the whole thing was just a fiasco. Here we're going to continue on with the story. Today, Young lives in a luxury 4-bedroom, chandelier-clad, $750,000 home in a gated community in the Orlando suburbs. I came up from nothing, he said in a 2023 interview. I was homeless. I was completely poor. My mother was a drug addict. I never had a father. My grandmother raised me as much as she could till she couldn't afford to take care of me. I was on my own since I was 14. I started working at Taco Bell for $3.85 an hour and had to work my way up. Almost every one of these claims is a lie. Little by little, Young turned Soulquest into a personal fiefdom, a place where the most anguished people came to heal. And he was richly rewarded in the process. There is a striking contrast between the ancient methods that Young used to build his wealth and the thoroughly modern trappings he has chosen to lavish his wealth on. I want to stop there for a quick second because it reminds me I forgot to do something. Billy D, I'm putting you on the spot. Bill wrote to me an absolutely gorgeous email. Billy D, do I have your permission to read it? I'm almost putting you on the spot, and if Don't feel like you can't say no, because he has some personal details in there. But I think the personal details are part of the story. It's a way different story than we're hearing about Soulquest. I can guarantee you that. Completely different story. Billy, can I read it? Thank you. You're going to make a difference because you've been so... Wait till you read this with me, you guys, and you'll know why. This came from Bill. He didn't receive anything. It was just, this is a random out of the blue. Open up, and there's this letter from my friend. If you guys remember correctly, Billy D is in Oregon. It's 3 hours ahead of me. And I don't know what he does. He sets an alarm or something, but he's up at 6 o'clock almost every single day. First guy here at the show. Not that I say that because I feel like I put pressure on him when I remind him of that. You can come late anytime you want, Bill. But he doesn't. He has his own internal clock. I'll read this to you. Dear Pops, Brock, and Mush Fam. So this letter, in the title of it, was written to you guys. That's why I felt like I should be able to read it. Pops and Brock will get letters, but when they say and Mush Fam, just an update from the antisocial hermit hiding out in the forsaken desert trying to get my mind right. Before I came across this crew, I spent many a dark night wondering if I could make it through, and even if I should. The dark thoughts were like ever-present demons, constantly haunting and even torturing me. Your writing's beautiful and your punctuation's on point, bro. I did a lot of messed up things in my past. Billy, couldn't have been any more messed up than me. Anybody else out there, real quick? Anybody have done anything messed up in their past? Super quick. Anybody? Give me about 5 people that have done a messed up thing in their past. And it's kind of cool to be able to say it out loud. Am I right? Who's perfect? I don't want to be this Chris Young guy. Who's perfect? Cleaning never. Okay. I've done a lot of messed up things in my past that affected me and many around me. But I didn't care because it was all about me and whatever I wanted, irregardless of the effects or who I hurt. Even after I got straight and was seeing a therapist and trying the medications, my brain was a roller coaster that I couldn't control. And nothing helped with the tremendous guilt of what a shambles of unfixable and unforgivable wake of destruction that I have done. It's exactly why you're doing the exact opposite right now, Bill. Every one of those destructions is a bridge now. Every one of those devastations is a highway. It's a high rise. And I mean that. That's how we get to change it. I have been rightly ostracized from the world in which I was in. I continued the therapy and was really trying to get my brain to work with me to move on. But the memories were a full-on attack and leave me just wanting it to be over, no matter what the mental exercise and pills that were tried. And now, that was before. We have before stories. Thank goodness. And now, thanks to you and the others here, he's not thanking me alone. I remember about 3 weeks ago, Rodman won a prize here. Out of the blue. Rodman writes to me, goes, Pops, would you send that to Billy D? He needs it. It's building friends and relationships and all kinds of stuff going back and forth here. Stuff goes on behind the scenes that we don't even know about. The ripple. But Thanks to you and the others here, I've actually found a medicine that keeps me mostly thinking like a normal human again, not fearing the dark each night, going crazy in my own head, and punishing myself full time in my survivor's guilt. Not to say that I'm actually fixed, because of course sometimes my brain still whops me with a memory that is painful and distressing. But it's not an everyday or an every night ordeal. Thanks to you and this group for helping me when I was at a dark and vulnerable time. This medicine works for the PTSD that was my former life. Thank you, Pops and fam, for probably saving my life. Gratefully, Bill D. P.S. The lessons on mindfulness and the fellowship are very greatly appreciated. And the lessons about how to supply my own medicine are awesome. And I hope that one day soon, I can move into somewhere that I can apply the knowledge that you have imparted upon me and many others. PSS. Yeah, I'm still in therapy, and both she and my MD are aware that I mostly micro, and I occasionally macro for my medicine, and both are cool with it. I guess you're being pretty honest out there, Billy D. Not even close to alone, is he, you guys? Every single one of us could have written that letter. Every single one of us. That's what communities should be doing for each other. And then they should be lifting each other up and telling each other, this is the difference you guys are making in my life. Keep showing up. You're making a big difference in each other's lives. And I'm not trying to be Joe Drama Pop, because most of the time I'm laughing and goofing around and stuff like that. But you know what? Life can get real serious. And Bill has a lot of friends now that he didn't have before. And so does Justin and Melody and Nerdy and HP. And I'm just reading the people on the screen. Every one of us. Then we get this kind of crap. I look forward to racing Bill every morning to the gym door, right, Derek? Yeah, Derek. Derek gets there too, but Derek, you're at 9, okay? He's a hard one to beat to the door, Poor Leaf said. He is. And every time I say that, I feel like I'm putting pressure on him to keep performing that. That is not it at all. By any means, please. Bill, I'm going to give you a homework assignment. One of these days you have to come late. Okay? I'm going to make you come late. But you know what? That's the ministry he's chosen. That's the way he's chosen to serve us. Is I'm going to get there and I'm going to hold the door open. Pretty darn good. And then you got these guys. Okay? You got these guys. According to documents disclosed during the bankruptcy process, Young drives a $180,000 Mercedes. Pops used to drive a very, very, very expensive car. I had a 350Z. And then I had it turbocharged. And then I had a bunch of other stuff done to it. I literally, at one point, had probably the fastest street legal 350Z in Southern California. Flaming red. Convertible. Because that I thought was going to make you guys like me. It was going to make you think I was cool. I had a really cool, fast car. Red. You know what Pops drives today? 15-year-old Cadillac. And the only reason I'm even driving a Cadillac, the only reason I'm driving a Cadillac is because Cadillacs are very easily serviced in the Detroit area. You drive a foreign car over here, a Toyota they double charge you what the mechanics do. The mechanics like the US cars. So that's the only reason. No car payments and the smallest mechanic bill possible. And why do I say that? Because my story about myself changed. Who I was changed when I was 60. I had 2 lives before that. In my 3rd life, it's like I don't want to be known for material crap. I don't want anything. I want a shed. Oh, El Caminos are cool, nerdy. One of my best friends growing up had the coolest El Camino in high school. So this guy's driving around because he cares about you. He's driving around in a $180,000 Mercedes. And he also owns, wait for it, what's parked in the driveway? A $370,000 luxury motorhome. Okay. I'm not saying people don't deserve good things and big things, I'm not saying that for a moment. I'm just asking where are our priorities. Green Killer was the coolest. It was the best car. I mean, there wasn't a guy in Southern California that could touch me on the street. As of December, I put a lot of money into that dumb car. And then when you go to sell it, you don't get a dime back out. They're like, oh, well, that was kind of a dumb investment in that car, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. As of December 2023, he had a cryptocurrency funds totaling almost $400,000. And then he had a party in Amsterdam to celebrate his 50th birthday, followed by jaunts to Cartagena, Las Vegas, and Tulum. Until the winding down of Soulquest, he was paid $320,000 a year as the organization's head honcho. A white guy donning a feathered headdress and Amazonian jewelry at rituals that saw him do little more than pour the ayahuasca. That's worth $350,000 a year. On his trips to Tulum, Young, who is a phenomenal salsa dancer, would wear traditional paintwork and post photos to social media declaring it was his time to get my tribal on. That's okay. Young's social media presence is certainly an eyebrow-raising one. He would post regularly showing off his mansion, shenanigans backstage at EDM shows, fine dining experiences, and foreign holidays, typically enjoyed with a succession of girlfriends around half his age. Boy, this reporter doesn't like this guy. I don't either, but this got a little bit of a slant. While a legion of volunteers quietly kept the church going in his absence. Always remember, rumors are carried by haters and spread by fools and accepted by idiots, he once reposted to his critics. I was super concerned about what I was witnessing and the lack of transparency, said the facilitator Fallot. The facilitators, with their faces on the website, had the clout to stop being la la la. I'm grateful for the medicine. And to stop playing along with the bullshit. Do the math. He was pushing 100 people a weekend, and they were paying near $1,000 each, and he only had basic overheads. It enabled one person to get super rich from a fake church. The organization brought in $7.5 million from 2022 to mid-2024. This is well after the young man had been killed and all the other things were going on. At the time of this claim, Young only had about $20,000 in his personal account, along with his crypto fund. Aside from funding his lifestyle and keeping the candles lit at Soulquest, where did it all go? Well, lots of places. Young's legal fees for the case against J.P. Begley likely ran into the hundreds of thousands. The failed DEA exemption bid cost at least $1 million. According to Dr. Scott Irwin, a minister in charge of the group counseling and psychedelic integration sessions at Soulquest. On top of all that, in the 2 months before filing for bankruptcy, more than $250,000 disappeared from Young's account. He upgraded cards, made extra mortgage payments, and he invested in a $17,000 home security system right before I go bankrupt. It's insanity, Chapman said. The bankruptcy trustee is investigating this as excessive spending. The boy who came from nothing now had a fortune he needed to forfeit fast, or else he'd have to sit back and watch J.P. Begley take it all from him. Yeah, because you have a $50 million judgment against you, dude. Luckily, Soulquest neo-shamanic leader was good at finding uses for his money. The real Chris Young took off his ceremonial garb on Sundays, and he left the church to party at electronic music events and blow off steam at strip clubs and orgies, said another church insider. Nelson said he abused the love given to him at that church. These are the things I want to throw up, I want to vomit, but I continue to read through this because this is an example of where the human greed and corruption and lack of ethics and lack of morality, if we're not practicing daily, this is the direction that humans go. We have to have an open and honest discussion daily and make sure that it's not, and if you see that it's about profit, run. And if you see that it's about somebody telling you they're right and everyone else is wrong, run. Run as fast as you possibly can. This stuff is poison. During the legal case, Irwin raised concerns over bookkeeping and the power that Young had to manipulate the numbers to his advantage. There has never been any financial transparency, Irwin told the court. There's never been any disclosure of any accounting records of any kind. All that was done by Christopher Young exclusively. After raising his concerns, Irwin was told it's none of his business. Irwin left Soulquest in 2021, fearing a DEA raid after the religious exemption application was denied. Irwin, an easygoing intellectual hippie type, had joined the organization after working at the University of Miami, where he'd led a successful smoking cessation program. Irwin enjoyed a strange relationship with Young, and not long after becoming a Soulquest board member in 2017, he did something that enraged his boss. He became intimate with Verena. If you remember, Verena's his ex-wife. There's a story there, but we can slip past that. There were wild parties at the Soulquest property in between the retreats. So Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be really holy here. Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be super, that would be like here at my house. Between 9 and 10 in the morning every day, we're going to be super holy. And then as soon as we turn off the TV, off the computer, off this deal here, the strippers pull up out front. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with strippers. I'm talking about how I'm not being honest with you guys. Next thing you know, the whole party group shows up every day. There were wild parties at the Soulquest property in between retreats. It used to be Wednesdays and Thursdays. Chris would bring strippers from the strip clubs in Orlando to Soulquest. And they would all be partying. We didn't have them. You and I were about to strip for everybody, if you remember correctly. What would have that been like? Okay, let's stop it. All right. Here they are. On Thursday evening, there would be a cleaning lady walking around telling them, you guys need to wake up and get rid of these girls. Wake up! There's bodies strewn all around the house. Okay? Okay. You guys have guests coming tomorrow. The maid's waking everybody up, kicking the people, throwing the strippers out of the house and reminding them, you guys got a ceremony tomorrow. You have a spiritual retreat. Irwin, who passed away in the second half of 2024, was known to call Young's party friends cockroaches. Lovely. And he told staffers, such as Fallow, that the taking of cocaine at these parties was rife. It was a Diddy party. That'd be like Diddy having an ayahuasca church, okay? No, I'm not going, okay? This unruly behavior would seem to fit in with Young's pre-shamanic persona. He didn't change a lot. In June 2009, in Lee County, Florida, Young was convicted and fined for recruiting, harboring, and transportation for prostitution. And he appeared to agree to an undisclosed plea bargain on a charge of living off of the earnings of a prostitute. Records recently unearthed by Chapman show. That's lovely. Yeah, he's a shaman. This is a shaman right here, okay? In 2005, he was charged with 2 separate cases of battery. Young didn't respond to requests for comments on these charges. The more I read, the creepier it's getting, Herb. The creepier this whole thing is getting. Okay? Let me see. In October, I paid a visit. I'm going to read 1 or 2 more paragraphs. We're going to be done with this filthy crap. And I think the point has been made over the past 3 days that let's use this as an example of what not to be. Okay? Let's use this as an example. And the sad thing is, the truth is, there was a chance to change here. The man had every opportunity to change, just like we do, just like Pops does. You know, and I might as well have been stripper Pops up until I was like 60, and not that, because I value women way, way too much. I truly do. I mean, I just do. I always have. I've never been one that looked at women as only sex objects, and I give my mom all the credit for that because she was such a brilliant woman without a degree, and she did. I mean, she raised an amazing family, and my dad's example. My dad never did one thing to look sideways or woo woo this or wow. It was just, I blessed them for that example. Now, there were other things, not so much, but that this whole stuff just makes me want to barf. And yet there's sort of, well, I'm sort of rubbernecking watching the accident on the freeway. I'm describing the accident. And again, it's not gossip. I'm not trying to gossip about Chris Young. I'm trying to remember that this stuff is out there. These people are there. These people are doing this stuff every single day. Every single day, they're out there. In October, I paid a visit to Florida, as well as meeting with J.P. Begley and William Chapman. I wanted to see if Chris Young would sit down with me for an interview. However, Young didn't return my calls. So in the eye of Hurricane Milton, the feared storm of the century, I made my way to a local business called Dancers Royale to see if the stories I'd heard about Young blowing his earnings in Orlando's array of strip clubs held any water. See, imagine the good that we could have been doing with that money, or that man could have been doing. First of all, who would charge $1,000 to somebody to have him throw up in a bucket in your backyard? With volunteers, no medical attention, with a little structure that's erected right on the spot where somebody had seizured themselves to death. DJ K5, the producer of classic Florida house track Passion, was on the checks and laying waste to the club's frankly intimidating sound system. One of the many strippers who approached me on the night, a brunette with a West Coast accent, clad in an ornately detailed yellow and pink bikini, complimented my English accent, but she was reluctant to divulge any details about clients. No, that's okay. We're not allowed to say, she said, as a man went around with dustpan and brush, sweeping up stray banknotes that hadn't found their way into the dancer's lingerie. What? Someone's making it rain, and they're sweeping it up. When I spoke to the manager, he also refused to comment, citing the club's discretion policy. The owner of Dancers Royale was certainly an amiable man. Despite my protestations about being a teetotaler, he had my drink generously laced with gin. Put some gin there. What? I told you I don't drink. Yeah, throw some gin in, dude. Okay. He had my drink generously laced with gin, and he offered me something I will refrain from mentioning in print. He's certainly an amiable man. And he gifted me a specially made t-shirt. Was Dancer Royale propaganda? Was it propaganda? No, it was strippers. It goes on a couple more things. Final paragraph. By 2023, almost all of the volunteers and facilitators had been working at Soulquest between the time of Brandon's death, Brandon, not Matthew, Brandon, The time of Brandy's death and the final weeks of the pandemic had departed, with a few going on to set up ayahuasca retreats of their own. Marcia, who worked as a healthcare assistant at the center for 2 years, grew tired of Young and the lack of reinvestment of church profits. I wouldn't allow that man to serve me medicine now, ever, in any capacity, she said. I don't want his vibe anywhere in my bubble. That medicine is sacred, and karma is doing its number on him. In wrapping up the story of Soulquest, one question remains unanswered. How was all of this allowed to happen? In her handsome, detached Orlando home, Orlando news reporter Carla Ray, who covered the story from beginning to end for Channel 9, is trying to explain. We had been banging the drum on this church for several years leading up to Brandon's death. And then it was like, okay, what was all my reporting for if this could still happen? The DEA had put them on notice, and local authorities had been out there, but nothing had ever come of it. Maybe if action had been taken against Chris and Soulquest, when all the original stories aired, Brandon's death wouldn't have happened. It's possible that Soulquest avoided serious censure and a DEA raid due to the sheer lack of understanding around psychedelics, as well as a lack of complaints from neighbors and a respect for private spiritual worship in Florida, where government regulations can be light, but protections have to be in place for people like Brandon, insists Ray. He was failed by Soulquest and the system that allowed them to continue to operate. Thank you for letting me run through all of that. I'm going to take a shower later. After reading all this, I'm going to take a shower and get this stuff out of my bubble completely. The neo shamans, they're not just out there. There's more of them coming. Okay, I was making no judgment against girls that are dancing entertainers. I've dated a few. I'm going to just for full transparency, back in the day, way back, first life. Most of them are there because they're hurting too. Good morning. Is Ava out there? Is Ava out there? I'm going to sing a quick song to Ava before we do this reading. Happy birthday to little Miss Ava. Ava, have a birthday today. Happy birthday to little Miss Ava. She's 7. She's heaven. Happy birthday to Miss 7, Ava. You're your mama's heaven. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday all day. I hope you get to play. Happy birthday to little Miss Ava today. Yay! Happy birthday, sweetheart. I can tell you one thing, Ava, you sure make your mom and dad smile a lot. It's pretty powerful. Let's get our reading in. I have about 8 minutes. Nephew, we love you. Here we go, the Book of Awakening. Look at all those people saying happy birthday to Ava. Never. She's a sweetheart. Being shaped by others. Billy D mentioned this morning, that we're all being shaped by others. Chung Tzu, ancient Chinese philosopher, said, the whole world could praise Sung Jungzu, and it wouldn't make him exert himself. The whole world could condemn him, and it wouldn't make him mope. He drew a clear line between the internal and the external. I was the exact opposite till I started my spiritual journey. 61 years old. I was the exact opposite. Your praise would make me exert myself more. And when I didn't receive it, or your attention, I would mope. You guys kept my score. And it was the most mentally unhealthy thing that I could ever do. And I did it. It was my life. That was my story. If I could make you think I was cool, remember my 350Z, then I am cool. It doesn't work that way. These words were spoken by Chung Tzu in the 4th century BC. I read them 15 years ago, and I taped them to my closet so I could be reminded not to let other opinions of me shape me. I lived a life of your opinion shaped me. And because I really wouldn't let you know, hypocrite extraordinaire, now you're living a life of pure hell because inside you know you're a lying son of a sieve. And I've changed a great deal since then. This is true. I'm not just making this up. That's why I can sit around here today and be really full of peace and not need or want very much. I've changed a great deal since then. What I do, where I live, who I am. I moved out of that Southern California situation where materialism reigned supreme and I was in the middle of it, floating around in the harbor. It had to stop meaning something to me. I had to literally do a geographic and come to a totally different place. And thank God when I got here, I was able to hook up with Captain Jeff and really start exploring nature in the form of fishing. Something I had never done in my whole life. I was too busy running around doing that other stuff. Everything slowed down for me. I had to change a great deal since then. What I do, where I live, who I am. Many things have come and gone. The closet to where Chung Tzu's words were taped is now holding someone else's clothes. That's a good one. But the words are in my heart, though I still struggle not to be shaped by what others think. This is at once the clearest of spiritual intents, and yet the hardest to stay true to. This is it. How to stay open to what others feel, but not to what they think. This absolutely resounds of the second agreement. Not taking anything personal. How you feel matters. What you think of me doesn't. How you feel is super important. We cannot live without being affected by others. But we are only real when we let truth and love shape us from within, not from without, Pops. Not from the cockpit of a car, an airplane, or a boat. We cannot live without being affected by others. Our want to be liked, our want to avoid conflict, our want to be understood, they're actually traits that tease us away from taking the voice inside of us seriously. We were taught that, we were programmed to seek that affection. But because I'm seeking it from without, I'm not providing it from within. Empty little boy. Grew up into an empty man. Started filling the emptiness with a bunch of stories that weren't true. Though the earth is touched by everything alive, it never stops turning around the fire at its center. And though we are touched by the stories of strangers and far-off songs of birds lost in the wind, we find our way by following the Spirit's voice at the center. Too much is lost in waiting for someone else to tell us what moves us is real. A little bit more here. It's not by chance that the dark center of the human eye is actually of the pupil. It's an empty hole through which the world becomes known to us. Likewise, in a spiritual sense, the I is the empty center through which we see everything. I am the empty center through which I see everything. It's revealing that such a threshold is called the pupil. For it's only when we are emptied of all noise and dreams of ego that we truly become teachable. Pupil. Good stuff. Power's in us. 4 things. We want to be impeccable. The power of our word redounds to everything. It goes back in here, and it tells us that we're not hermits anymore, Billy D. We're now part of a bigger thing, and we have an opportunity to ripple too, and you do that every day. Very few hermits show up somewhere at 6 o'clock every morning. So those were words that you don't have to call yourself anymore. Those are stories you don't have to believe anymore, for example. And we all have those. Let's take those words away. Let's talk about what we're doing now. There's the before story, and there's the now story. And the now story is every single minute, there's a new now. Have a great weekend, you guys. We're busy around here. We have 3 tours going through this place today, and we're not allowed to be here. We have to get in the car and drive away. Get out of here. You're not allowed to be here when they go looking through your underwear drawer. Really? No. Can I tape the underwear drawer closed? Okay? So, am I right?
So,
Yeah. It's like, I want to tape my underwear drawer closed. Okay? Laura says, just clean them, Pops.
No, don't come around here with solutions.
Don't come around here with solutions. Okay? Ava, happy birthday. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Remember, be impeccable. Don't take things personal. Don't have expectations and HB, talk to me. HB, talk to me. Where are we going with this? Marcus, nice to see you, Doc. Four-leaf lucky pup. Kelly, I'm so glad to see you here. Niffy, happy birthday to daughter. Michael Allen, Mike Buddy. Laura Young, problem fixer I am. Don Fike, Vegas, have a wonderful weekend. Jesus Christ, in Australia. Waz likes strippers, but they're bacon. He likes bacon strips. Okay, I get it. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, Waz likes strips. Okay, Nerdy, love you. Deborah, you are a pearl. Sandman, come on down. Jolie, good morning. Just do your best. Jesus Christ, and Mushy, good morning. Nippy and Melody Dawn, and 100 people is here. 100 people is here. Bad grammar, but it's true. Classic, Billy D, Michael, Sean T. Patterson, Corey D. and Cleany, and Four Leaf, and Gnome King. Good morning, Nomi. Jolie and Mike Buddy Ball and Greenie and Jesus Christ in Australia. Sue Littlemeyer, Flora Young, HB, Carnivorous, Herbs, thanks for everything. Justin LaFlower, Cat Meow, Zilla, Billy D, Mushmouth, Hair Care. Okay, I know who's talking out there. Paige, Johnzuck, Nipper, Billy D, Johnzuck, Mike, Sam Posick. Good morning, Sammy. Joe D's, Trenty, Four Leafy, Justin, good morning. Melody, JWO and Nomi, Sue Littlemeyer, Laura. Laura, I'm not touching that. Red Boy, Knights of the Round Fable, Santa, Michael Allen, Moron, Corey D, Billy D, John Zucchi D, Mr. Phillips D. Wait a minute. You guys didn't have D's. See you guys next week. Pops, peace, love, ouch.